I've had a number of foster kids. The number of years we have been foster parents. This year will be the 15th year. Yeah, I have different kids from different backgrounds. I think the one that comes to mind is the first one, which are First Nations. There are two siblings. They came to our house. At beginning, things were, of course, difficult when kids come to a new house. I'm from Nigeria and from a different background. And then the culture was different. And starting from food and clothing and all sorts of things that they found difficult. But one of the things that happened was during that time they used to visit their parents. So we make sure that they visited their dad. And then about church, I'm a pastor, I've been a Christian for a long time. So we didn't force them. So it depends on the child. And as each child, we try to adapt to make them feel at home, to make them feel fitted in our house. As you can see, my background is quite different from so many backgrounds here. But we try to manage and try to accommodate each other.
As children came into our home, many have never really experienced religion as we see it today in a church. But I've done primarily Aboriginal children of late, and its culture is based on a religion. It's based on Mother Earth and what we do with Mother Earth. And that is how I treat my children. I have a greenhouse, I have flower beds. And since last December, I took charge of a little 8-year-old who actually turns 9 today, and she's missing me. We play outside in the dirt, and she and I go around smelling things, and we sniff, because in her culture, that's what she would have been doing. Her kokum, grandma, would have been taking her outside. So we do everything in the greenhouse, and we've made many jams from berries that we've picked this summer, and then we treat the elders. We go at night, we walk with our dogs, 7 dogs, and we look at the sky and we talk about what's happening in the sky. And that's, right, we have Mother Earth and Grandfather Sky, and we have all these things. I have storybooks laying around for her. I have a multitude of books based on culture and prayers. I smudge. I have a special room that I use for smudge when we're not doing well, when we're not doing good, sometimes just to celebrate and thank you. And the one thing I ask of all my children that come into my home, that includes my own, is that at the end of the day, based on no belief system other than there's something greater than us that gave us this. And we say thank you. We say thank you at the end of the day, because you must be grateful for what you received.
Have you had children from other cultures, and how do you think, how do you define culture? How do you see culture?
The majority of our children that that come into our home are of Aboriginal descent.
Okay.
Because my husband is Shinnecock from Long Island, that is that much better because we have that. And our home, I think our home is extremely traditional in terms of we have one room where everything is Aboriginal. We make dream catchers, we make, they make slippers. Yeah, moccasins. We have storybooks, we have puppets that are made from Aboriginal animals. We do smudge. We do many, many different things in that room. And my granddaughter also has done dance and language, and she now dances. She does jingle dancing. And then my little 9-year-old, she's now just learning how to do shawl dancing. Every year we go to the Kamloops powwow. We go to our little powwow in our community, but it's so much smaller. But then We look at, sometimes the elders bring some different things that they have made, and sometimes we buy, sometimes we don't. And we watch dancers. A few dancers come from different areas. In the elders, we have prayer. And one of the things I try to teach to my children that is culture is about elders.
Yes.
When we are serving food, that the young serve the elders first, right?
Yeah.
They don't barge in front of the elders.
Yeah.
They must respect the elders. So we try to teach that. Those are the things that I have learned from other cultures, and they're based on respect.
Yes.
That's what we tell our children. They're based on respect. Simple word, right? But respect is earned, and it's given, and it's to the elders who came before us, who tell the stories. They must be treated with respect, right? Yeah. So that is, for me, I think, culture in a nutshell.
So what they're saying is that culture is a sort of a way of life that is unique to specific people or to individuals or to group of people.
I think a group of people.
Group of people. When we started, we got this Aboriginal, kid, very sweet girl. Oh. And we lost her for so many years now. Only about last year, during my kids during the Facebook found her. Oh, and she came from Vancouver because she lived in downtown, Vancouver. Then she came to church here, and it was amazing.
Yep. That's like winning the lottery when that happens,
exactly.
right? You think for me it is. It fills your heart.
Yes.
Right? With joy when you see them when they come back. And that's, for me, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Self-esteem in children. My little one, when she first came in with us, she was very shy all the time, very, very shy. As my granddaughter came and taught her songs and taught her dance, last year was the first time that my little one danced at the Kamloops powwow. Because my granddaughter, I think, helped her in that self-esteem and that it was okay. She wasn't so sure that it was okay to be dancing. I bought them all muckalucks and moccasins, and she now has her regalia too. And we have that hanging up on the wall in her bedroom because for her it's very important. Yesterday in school they asked what extra jobs would they like to do in school. You need to remember this is a little girl that used to be very shy and always, she asked if she could be the announcer for the school.
Wow.
So they find out on Friday, right? And that's how far she's come, right? By coaching her and by letting her know that her culture is not all wrong and it's not all bad. We embrace it. And I'm not afraid to stop and talk about it with her or anyone else. She's important, and she's, for me and my husband, she's a blessing. She's added to our life. And I would like to see her grow up to be the best that she can be. Right? That's...
Yeah, I think one of the things I find out is that kids would like to belong.
Exactly.
Belong to a community or a culture. And when that culture is not defined, it affects their self-esteem.
Exactly.
So that's why it's important. We try to, in my own house, to encourage them, whether it's Aboriginal or Caucasian or any culture, to find out and direct them to their background. And it helps them. It encourages them, like you said, to come out and to let them know that there's a place they belong to.
Yes.
They didn't just fall from up and then you come to foster home.
Yeah.
There's a place they belong to. So it's a way of focusing them. We try intentionally to refocus them to their background and let them know that there is nothing wrong in their family, nothing wrong in their background or in their culture. Yeah. So to me, culture is something that is a way of life of different people which includes different things, like we say clothing, how they dress, or dancing, or food, or all sorts of things that make up the culture. But every culture, to me, is very unique and need to be encouraged.
And if it's encouraged, then they develop their self-esteem.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
It creates so many questions for the young people. If we don't acknowledge, it's sort of like you're saying to them that they're not important enough.
Yes.
Right? That's for how I see it, that no, you don't matter, you're not important enough, so we won't do this.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, it gives them that sense of belonging, as I said before. If it is not there, they're sort of lost. And it affects them in their behavior. Some of them may rebel. Many of them will not be happy if you talk to them. And it, usually, I think it's beneficial to the foster parent. Because when they are happy, listening to you, try to then. But if they don't know where they belong, they're just flowing in the air. They're unhappy, and then it affects everything.
Their education, everywhere that they go, they don't do well. Right? Yes.
Yeah,
their whole learning is shut down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What I've learned is to always be open-minded and to get ready for the unexpected. And to not sit in judgment.
Yes.
I think that's very big, because if you sit in judgment of a child who's been moved there's many reasons why children are moved, not always because they're being mistreated, maybe their parents died. Two of them that I have no parents left, so that's why they came into care. And if you sit in judgment of their parents, they feel that. It's like they're wearing this cloak of negativity, and they know that if you didn't like my mom and dad, then obviously you don't like me. Yeah. That's sort of what I think I've learned over all the years, and remain open, not just here, but here too.
The most important thing is to support the kids and to add and to contribute to the community.
Exactly.
To come through to the community and because our community, it depends on how we raise our children.
It takes a community to raise a child.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.